G'day, have I got a story for you? Check the disclaimer. Season 1, Episode 42, Non-Disclosure. What I want to know is, why am I here? I'm sure my code words were not spoken. I have never emerged to be in control in an MM before. Usually I'm requested. The code words are said and ping, here I am. I know the order, Kitty, Leonie, and I am usually immediately after Kitten for testing. But why am I here now? I wait as the MM slowly removes all the needles from my face and body. I know that people usually do this much quicker, but there appears to be no one else here. Will this be another test with a different scientist? Or will it be the first client? I am feline, the 4th addition to this Gatine program, and I have been watching the first 3, Kitty, Leonie, and Kitten, as usual. I am surprised that nothing much has happened with that man with such vile thoughts. Normally the testing is very repugnant. We were all expecting a lot more training, data input and testing to be done before we had a client, which makes me think that he is not a client. I think he is a rogue scientist satisfying his own greed, trying to steal a part or all of the Gatine program for himself. So he gets the recognition and all praise due for this invention. I sit up in this MM, finally free of all the medical attachments. I am usually in an MM after the scientists heard me, when I am immobilized. So I feel odd, my face. Where are my whiskers? The skin is all smooth and it doesn't hurt inside my head. When the small tail is removed, it is usually replaced with a long tail for me. But I appear to have no tail at all. There is no pain, like there usually is all the way up my back and on my shoulders and neck. And when I move the areas that control my tail, nothing happens because there is no tail. It's different. I don't like it. Although having no pain is better, I suppose. But it just feels so wrong. I look around. I scan where I am. Where are the trees? Are we really underground, as everyone seems to believe? Why am I here if we are underground? Where are my metal claw gloves? And what am I supposed to climb instead of trees? Are the walls really made of dirt? Am I expected to climb those? I can't climb anything without my gloves. I suppose I should introduce myself to this Ambrielle person, whoever or whatever she is. I really like that name, Ambrielle. It's so regal. I assume I can also do that mind link thing that I saw Leonie and Kitten do. Hello, I say in my thoughts. I'm feline.
Pleased to meet you, feline. I'm Ambrielle.
I hear. What am I supposed to do here underground, I ask. There's nowhere to run, there's nothing to climb, and there's nowhere to hide. What am I here for? Do you know? Actually, I can see that you have no idea. I suppose I'll just have to wait and see.
I don't know why little sweetheart isn't here. She usually is. I do remember one time though. Her body, was by herself, as you are now, with no other people around. We always thought that when she wasn't here, in control of her body, she was asleep, but have recently found out that might not be the case. We're not sure how, but sometimes she goes somewhere internally, and sometimes she is busy helping people externally.
Margaret is on her way to Memory 3 of the Mangler's facility, and the Mangler is waiting for her. He's going to make her watch unspeakable acts again. She's sitting watching now near another woman, Jessica, who the Mangler also likes to torment. I can see that both ladies just want to help his two young victims. Yes, that's what I'm here for, to help people. Let's do it. I simultaneously contacted both Stella and Cassandra in their thoughts earlier, so they know what I have planned. We will save these girls, and maybe Margaret could help. The scientists toss the slabs, as they call their poor victims, outside the door, as if their precious bodies are rubbish. I speak to Margaret's mind. I am here. Please, keep them busy for a minute. I know that Jessica is not ready to hear from me yet. Stella needs to get to know her a bit first and let her know that I am real. Fortunately, the three scientists in the room are already looking the other way. Their attention is on some papers discussing the results. Stella scoops up one of the victims in her arms and heads for the elevators. Stella gently places the little girl on the floor and slides her through the portal at the back. Then she presses a level number in the elevator and quickly exits, knowing the portal will dissipate the moment the elevator moves. I often use elevators for this. It seems the easiest way. Cassandra is ready at her end. She has the elevator stopped at the hospital floor with 2 beds in the hallway ready, and all the equipment she needs is also there, ready to revive them. The 3 people who usually help her are also there waiting: Dorothy, Florence, and Gilbert, or Dot, Flo, and Bert, as they like to be called. They all see a portal open at the back of the elevator and quickly put the little girl who slides through on one of the beds. They start the revival procedure immediately. The 3 women attend to the girl, and Bert goes down 1 floor in the elevator to dissipate the portal and back again, ready for the next girl. As the doors open, he hears the first girl gasping for air and is so relieved that they were successful. I have 2 other rescues going to plan at other facilities. One of them, the Drogos facility, with multiple recipients. It is not very often that all Candy Girls are in mind maintenance rooms at the same time. At the Drogos facility, they are next door to the elevators. All 24 Candy Girls from the 2 closest rooms are ready and waiting. Now is the time. 6 from each room go to the 2 open elevators, through the portals at the back. The 2 women helping me then take the elevators to the next level down and back again, dissipating the first 2 portals. About a minute later, we do it all again. 24 girls, all rescued. They won't be missed for at least 2 hours, the time it takes for the mind maintenance cycle to complete. It will be assumed that they are still somewhere in the facility. I check the men that should be watching for portals and other anomalies, and they are not doing their jobs as usual. No one will know that those portals were ever there. There are tea ladies, cooks, nurses, janitors, and maintenance staff on other levels at that facility, and they are all ready to escape. I have to coordinate it perfectly. It's much easier with those 2 men who are not paying attention to their jobs. Some have gone. For others, 2 minutes have passed, but I can see that when they are waiting their turn, it seems much longer to them. Half of them have already gone to the same places as the first group of girls. Now we just wait for the elevators to be ready for the other 2 destinations. Almost ready. Okay, go! Now elevators moving, portals dissipated. and done. I am also coordinating with a third facility, Vlad's facility, and the destinations receive even more people. There are people that I've previously rescued waiting for them at some of the destinations. I watch over every rescued person because occasionally they need help. It was a daunting task at first, until I realized I could do it simultaneously, which made it so quick and easy. Those who did need help were few, because most of them slotted into the surface lives that I arranged for them quite easily. While simultaneously coordinating with the other two facilities and all the destinations, I am also watching over Stella, who rushes back for the other girl, and I ask her to wait just before she gets to the door. All three scientists are looking towards the door, wondering if one of the janitors has taken one body but left the other. I say to Margaret in her thoughts, "Now! Please distract them, now!" Margaret suddenly falls off the chair she was sitting on, and while the three men and Jessica are looking in her direction, Stella picks up the other child and rushes her to the elevator that I have open ready for her. I hope we can revive her. The loudest thought of all that I'm watching right now is one of the rescued Candy Girls, who is dancing, well, sort of, and singing.
I'll never be a candy girl again. No more torture, no more men. I'll never be a candy girl again. No more torture, no more
over
men.
and over again.
I'll never be a candy.
The 5 other girls who were rescued with her, a nurse Cosima and a tea lady Ruth, join her holding hands, dancing in a circle. I don't really understand why people do this, but they seem, I suppose that is happy. I'm not really sure what happy is. At the Manglers facility, I let Stella and Margaret know that the children are both alive and thank them both so much, because without them helping, neither of those girls would have survived. There are tears of relief in Margaret's eyes. She is glad that she could help save lives. She has seen too much death. She is so thankful that they lived. I respond with, "You're welcome. This is what I do. I help people. I want you to know that the moment it is safe to do so, I have rescue plans for you and your triplets." I can see that she is remembering watching the Mangler murder her daughter, but that was a ruse. "No," I let her know. "She is alive. He deceived you. All 3 of your children are alive." Three of the maintenance staff just rescued from the Drogos facility are already fixing up rooms as quickly as they can, so the children will have a comfortable place to sleep. I sent them to an old house, knowing they could fix it. The ex-Candy Girls are helping. They seem happy, I think. A nurse, a cook, and a tea lady are also there, ready to be mums, to hopefully 2 girls each. The house is in the janitor's name, and the legalities will be completed in the morning. The janitor and tea lady will be free to marry as soon as they like, and I suspect one of the maintenance men and the nurse might also have a future together. The cook has wanted more than anything to be a mum all her life. She is so excited. Of course, when I think they are excited or happy, I'm just guessing. I have never experienced those things for myself, but I hope I will one day. At a completely different destination, Ilaria has finally finished dancing and singing and is going from room to room with Cosmia, looking at everything. They are in a smaller house, but big enough for 2 women and 6 girls. 5 bedrooms, 6 girls can share 3, and 1 each for Ruth and Cosmia. Ruth is in the kitchen getting a meal ready, and the old janitor is out the back looking at the smaller residence that I thought he would like, and he does. It's bigger than he expected. He is looking forward to being grandpa to all 6 girls. At the Mangalis facility, I can see that Margaret doesn't believe that her daughter is alive. So I show Stella where her daughter's file is, and she quickly takes it to Margaret. After seeing the evidence in the file, Stella takes a dazed Margaret back to her office. I didn't really expect that. I have seen many people dazed. However, it was always due to some sort of mind manipulation or drug. I didn't realize this could happen naturally. Margaret's thoughts are full of pictures of her precious daughter. I think she's in shock, but a good shock. I watch where I send some from Vlad's facility. I like to know the thoughts of those who, unbeknown to them, are sent to the same destination as other family members. Some were previously rescued and were waiting for people to arrive. And the moment they arrive, they realize who they are. There's lots of hugs and tears of relief. It is just so good. I feel their relief. And even though I'm not allowed to cry, I often do cry inwardly. I also send 3 more from Vlad's facility to Cassandra. She, along with Dot, Flo and Bert, are all there waiting. As soon as the portal opens in the elevator, Flo gasps and rushes to hug the 2 children, a girl about 7 years old and a boy about 4. I reunited them with their mum. I had already asked Cassandra to take the woman who accompanied them through the portal to the 2 girls that Stella sent through only a few minutes earlier. The woman is so relieved to see her precious daughters alive. She was told they had about a year ago. This is just so good. This is what I live for, to help people. I can see that I still need to do something to help Margaret. She seems to be dazed, and know from experience that a long thought conversation with me often helps. We speak with each other, Margaret and I, in her mind. She asks me many questions, and I do my best to answer them all. I make sure she knows everything that the Mangler ordered her to do earlier, when she was still dazed in his office. I also let her know what we could do to foil his plans and help people instead. She quickly agrees, even though it involves rescuing 2 scientists. I can see that when it is time to rescue her family, in order to be able to carry it out, I will need to keep Margaret busy with other things on her mind, so as not to cause her to faint. I think she will be able to see the reasoning for my non-disclosure of such an important event until the very last moment. I hope so. I don't see how it would work any other way. At the smaller house, all 6 girls, Cosmia and Grandpa, are all sitting at the dining table, while Ruth brings in their first meal that they can all eat together. Even though there are 9 of them there, I asked Ruth to make 11 meals. She asks them all to wait a moment, moves the 2 thick rugs over, about 2 meters from the end of the table where they can all see, and says that someone else is coming. As they all watch, a cook appears, and Ruth immediately pulls the rug to dissipate the portal. While all the girls, I suppose it is their equivalent of clapping and cheering, and Cosmia and Ruth welcome her. Grandpa just sits there with tears falling down his cheeks. It's then that the rest all notice that the cook is also crying. She rushes over to Grandpa, and they hug like they will never let each other go. After a while, when they turn to the others, and with tears rolling down his face, Grandpa introduces his wife to them as their new grandma. He was told that she had died many years before, and she was told the same about him. Neither of them can eat. They just sit close together, hugging each other, catching up on years of each other's lives that they missed. Ruth puts their meals into the oven to keep warm with the other extra meal. Eventually, all 6 girls are snuggled up in bed, all in the one big bed to start with, because they didn't want to be separated. Grandpa and Grandma take a moment to sit and talk with each of them, learning their names and finding out a few things about them. They make sure that each child knows that they are very precious to them. This is the first time these girls have been told that they are valued, they are wanted, and they all now know that they are with kind people. All 6 of them were not sure if kind people actually existed, but realise they have grandparents who really do care about them. As Grandma and Grandpa leave the room, they both turn to blow kisses to each child, and the children can see that their eyes are filled with tears. This lovely old couple are so grateful that they not only have found each other, but also have 6 beautiful new grandchildren who they can love for the rest of their lives. That's not the end of the surprises for Grandpa and Grandma. When they walk into the living room, Cosmia and Ruth are speaking with a woman, and they ask the woman to repeat her story. As the woman turns around, Grandma and Grandpa take in her features. She seems a bit familiar to them both, and they wonder if they have seen her before. She looks like she might be homeless, and they are both moved with compassion. The woman explains.
I don't blame you if you think that I am mad, but I have been journeying, trying to get to this address for the past 2 months. I have been hearing a child speak to me, but no one else can hear when she does. She asked me to come to this address on this day, at this exact time. Oddly enough, I only just arrived a few minutes ago. Odd things happened to me on the way here. I would find containers of food, left in odd places where the child would tell me to go. I found comfortable places to sleep, and people would help me, saying that the child sent them. I was picked up by a bus that had clothes in my size ready for me, and many other supplies. I went in many people's cars, only the ones the child said that she had sent for me. And now I'm here. The child said that I would find my parents here. My name is Cordelia on my birth certificate, but the child told me that my real name is Tish. The old couple don't respond. They seem shocked. I tell them a bit about my life, growing up in an orphanage, and that I'm now 42 years old. When I say my birth date, the woman quickly comes and hugs me, telling me between sobs that she knew she was having a girl, and she named me Tish, but that I was stillborn.
Grandpa now knows why his small residence has an extra bedroom and 2 living areas, and why there is an extra meal in the oven. Tears well up in his eyes as he waits for his turn to hug his only child. Thank you so much for joining us with a cuppa. We appreciate your company.